Hey guys, it's Emily Schaller, and you're watching the CF Boltcast. Before we get started, there's a few things we need to go over. First off, nothing on this podcast should be considered medical advice. Medical advice should only come from your doctor. Views expressed on this podcast are solely opinions of the guest and not necessarily opinions of myself or the CF Foundation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the CF Boltcast.
This episode of the CF Boltcast is sponsored by Vertex Pharmaceuticals.
Hi, I'm Gavin Groettum. I'm 13 years old. I live in Rochester, Minnesota.
I'm Jen Groettum. I'm Gavin's mom. I'm 39 years old, and I'm also from Minnesota.
All right, so let's dig in really easy stuff here. Like, you guys can tag team this. When was Gavin diagnosed? Let's give a diagnosis story, and then I'll come back to you, Gavin, and I want to hear about your experience being a little kid with CF. So, Jen, you can kick this off.
So Gavin was diagnosed at 5 days old with a newborn screening test. We have no history of CF. Actually, when I was offered the genetic testing when I was pregnant, we declined because we had nothing in our family that we were concerned about. He actually was in the ER the night before. Every time we'd feed him a bottle, it would just go straight through his system. Went the next day, had his first 1 week well child visit. They said everything was fine, all was good. We got home and the phone rang, and it was the clinic that had just gotten our screening back. And I am so thankful we were at home and not in public, where you could have that emotional release in the comfort of your own home and not sitting in a doctor's office.
Yeah, I can't imagine the shock of hearing that diagnosis come out of nowhere. So what treatments was he started on at that point?
We did the chest percussion. We didn't have the tools. We just used our hands. And then I think just albuterol. It kind of feels like a ways back that it's hard to think of what exactly we had. Yeah. But it was very basic. We had a wonderful respiratory therapist. She had been doing it for 30 years at that point. So she was wonderful at talking to us and getting us started.
So how did you and Casey handle raising Gavin?
We're kind of the parents that the world's not going to fix itself for you. You kind of have to put yourself out in the world and make the world work for you and do what you need to do. Save for college, make sure he saves for retirement, invest, plan on him living a normal life, because she's like, people our age are now out of high school going, oh my gosh, I didn't save for college. I didn't plan to grow up. So it's just like you're almost playing it backwards. So that was embedded in us immediately.
And when did you, Gavin, realize that you had CF? Like, I do all the normal things my friends do, but I also do all these extra things?
Probably like first grade or second grade, because when I'd go to eat lunch, I'd always have to leave a little bit early and go to the nurse's office, and she'd give me my pills.
So do you talk to your friends about CF and what it's like, or do you just do your stuff and they're there hanging out?
I've told them about it, so they obviously know, but I don't think they really know like CF. They just know I take like pills before I eat. But yeah, they don't care at all.
Those are good friends, man. That's a good friends. What is your treatment schedule like now? Like, walk us through a day of Gavin's life.
During the school year, most of the time I'll wake up around 7:30. I'll do my vest, and then I'll eat, get my stuff ready, and get on the bus. But in the summer, I normally don't do my vest in the morning. I wake up and I go straight to hockey.
Was hockey your first sport?
Yeah, I was probably 3 or 4 years old.
Do you think that having CF and doing your treatments every day and having this extra element of life makes you a better hockey player, or makes you work harder, or gives you an extra drive to go harder on the ice?
Not really, I guess.
Just natural?
Yeah.
I would say he's not giving himself enough credit. I think that he's always had to put in extra work, and he doesn't realize that.
Well, that's the thing, Gavin. Our normal is different than everyone else's normal. Well, everyone's got different normals, but for us especially, it's just what we do. And we don't realize the hard work. So what do you see yourself doing? I've never asked this question. Like in 10 years, do you want to keep playing hockey, go to college?
Yeah, I want to pursue hockey and golf, but if the opportunities don't come up, I want to go to college. I want to, have a well-paying job, have a family.
You like having those two different sports that like you can get physical on the hockey rink and rough people up. I think you can check now, right?
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
And then you go just on the golf course and it's more relaxing and there's birds and there's sun and there's mosquitoes. Is it enjoyable just to go out on the course and it's your own sport? It's only you. You're not playing with other people, right? Like it's on you the whole time.
Yeah. It's really fun just to go out there. Yeah, and it's something you can do till you're, 90?
Oh yeah, good. I've got 50 more years. So you're a very active kid. What keeps you motivated to continue exercising?
My friends, pretty much. My friends help keep me motivated. You know, if we're working out together or something, or doing dry land, we're always pushing each other.
So Gavin, has CF really affected your life?
I think the hard part for him is that he's done so well and been so healthy that when you sit and ask him about CF, it's not your experience. It's this totally different, and that's what his respiratory therapist tried to tell us. She's like, it's almost like diabetes where it's kind of a pain in your side, but you live with it. It's not this like all-encompassing, life-altering thing. It's just like a smaller piece of him. So I think what you're gonna see with this younger generation is they're not gonna have as much to share or talk about because it's not as life-altering. It's just kind of something that they have to do a little extra and then they keep going. So you and I see the hockey thing of like, oh my gosh, he has CF and plays hockey, where all his friends are like, well yeah, he has CF and he plays hockey. Like it's just this total different like 180 perspective on it.
Yeah, totally. It really is an amazing time to be alive with CF.
Yeah, it is.
Gavin, what advice would you have for somebody your age with CF?
Just live your life, I guess. Find what you want to pursue, whether that's school or if you want to pursue a sport, find what you love.
And Jen, what would be your advice to parents of kids with CF?
My advice would be most of what you're worrying about will never happen. And you don't know what tomorrow is. Just go day by day and have the same dreams and hopes that you would for any child. Typical extra needs. Just let them find what they love to do and support them the best that you can. And honestly, let CF be a piece of them, not the whole part of them. It's just a small component of who they are.